Dun, 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 dun. Good morning. Check 1, 2. Hey, hey, hey. Look what YouTube's doing. Keep saying subscribers only mode, like over and over. What's up with that? I don't know. YouTube has been sketchy on their chat here lately. Like, you got to switch it to all messages, and then sometimes you got to switch it back to top messages. It's all jacked up. It's like, not used to be, but but we have to fix things that aren't broken. Have you ever noticed? Let me get rid of this. Have you ever noticed that we try to fix things that aren't broken, but won't fix the broken things? Have you ever noticed that? The story of my life, right? So, anyways, good morning. I hope all is well. I don't know. I'm not inspired today, but we'll trudge through this. Yeah, we'll get through this. We'll get through this. So, anyways, lot going on. Kind of nothing's going on. All right, so you've got next week is Thanksgiving. So normally, like the Friday before, I would talk about holiday strategies, but if you don't have next week booked by Friday, then you're probably going to have some struggles. Speaking of struggle, I don't think everybody's struggling enough. I don't think people are struggling enough because they're still turning down good loads when they're offered to them. And so until that stops, we're not struggling enough. So there's some controversy for you. And fuel's not high enough if you're still going out there and buying a non-fuel efficient truck to run dry van or reefer. So, but anyways, that's my 2 cents on that. It's funny. So when I was at Schneider, I would go to the Schneider yard in Dallas, the old one, not the one in Wilmer, but the one that was over there next to Flying J. And there was this dude, big sign said, "Need food." And so I pulled up, and I had just gotten from a truck stop. I had just gotten this reefer driver. He had given me like a whole box of these bell peppers, like the sweet kind, like the really good, like good things to munch on. Like they were the smaller ones. I don't know if they're bell peppers, but they were smaller. And this guy had his kids out there, need food. So as you get on the off ramp to get to that Schneider yard there, and so I pulled up. I said, "Hey man, here's a whole bag of these. These are great. Nutrition, food. Your kids look hungry. Here's something to eat." "Nah, man. Nah, I don't want that." Then you're not hungry enough. And it just proved that they weren't begging for food. They were begging for money. And because a truly hungry person is going to be grateful whatever you give them, short of being allergic to peppers or whatever. Now he could have said, "Well, do you have anything else?" No, he didn't say that. He just said, "No, thanks." Because I called him out on his bluff. I was willing to give him, dude, I had a whole case of these things in my truck. Luckily, my next load was going home, so I just brought him home. But yeah, that's that's the world we live in, and you just got to get used to that. So, CDN says that is a powerful line. We will try to fix things that are not broken, yet we won't fix the broken things. Snorelord, 1523, November 1523. It's just something that popped in my head because, You see it all the time. Like, you ever had an app on your phone that was like perfect, and then all of a sudden it gets glitchy, and you look and it's been updated, and you go look at the Google reviews or the Play Store reviews, and it's like, oh, this app was great until this date. It's like, why did you keep messing with this? It was fine as it was. Now I get adapt and change and make things better. I get that. But if it's not broke, don't fix it. If it truly makes it better, then but most of the time you're not making it better. So, if you have a good routine, if you have a good running lane, if you have a good customer, if it's working for you, stay on it. Keep doing it. How many people switch to flatbed from van trying to change the platform? That wasn't fixing anything. All he did was make it worse. You increased your debt, by buying all these chains and binders and all that, maybe a new trailer. Or you entered something that you know nothing about. You had to take securement classes, and by the time it was done and over with, and your learning curve was starting to even out, flatbed load capacity, load counts went down 70%. Where if you would have just taken your van and mastered it and did something better in that world, you might have, people might have been okay. But no, there's a lot of people that in the flatbed world that don't need to be in the flatbed world. Trust me, I've seen how some of these loads are getting tied down. So, but yeah, if it don't broke, don't fix it. And but yet the parts of ourselves that's broken, we won't fix that. The parts of our operations, we won't fix that. How many times I have to bite my tongue when someone goes, "We need to change this and we need to change that." Hey, do you know your numbers? No, but these brokers suck. Well, what do you need? I don't know, but man, that's not the point. It's like your energy is misplaced in the wrong direction. So if you just if you would just use that energy for good. So, what's that scene in Braveheart, William Wallace, when he's like pleading with the Scottish king? If you would just lead your people, if you just lead yourself. So, anyways, let's go to comments and shout outs. Um, I guess notifications went out. So, and then we'll take a look at some low board stuff. Randy Curry, good morning from Denver. Man, you've been hanging out there too long. My name is Nobody. Good morning. Southbound Pachyderm. Sup. CB, what's up? CB says this. This torn life. Jason, what's up, man? Haven't heard from you or seen you in a while. Hope you're on a good tour. Are you on the Metallica tour? That would be awesome. CDM Freight Broker, good morning. I appreciate you. CDN's helped a brother out a few times. TK, what's up? Hey now. Hey now. That's what TK likes to hear. Picked up some JB and CAF Black Rifle copy. Awesome. I love Black Rifle. They have inside Bass Pro. They have a like where you can go in and buy coffee. Like it's like a Starbucks, but it's like the anti Starbucks. And you can go in and the wife and I ordered coffee, and it was pretty nice sitting there by the fire, the cozy fire in Bass Pro, and drinking our coffee, enjoying our morning. Those are the moments you got to live for. Everything else is just noise, right? Jose, good morning. What's up? I'm going to highlight CDN's comment again. Wow, that is a powerful line. We will try to fix things that are not broken, yet we won't fix the problem, the broken things. I can't even quote my own quote. That's kind of lame. Now, in my ear, I can hear, I don't know if you might be able to hear it off the microphone, but I'm hearing a PACCAR engine running outside of my house. They're doing some more work on my street, and there's a Kenworth out there doing its thing. It's giving me flashbacks. Chief Freight Hauler, Ian MacArthur. Good morning. I didn't say hi. Just highlighted your account, your comment. Chief Freight Hauler. Good morning. Dying Bree. Good talk to you yesterday. Good morning, YouTube. Randy says, as we have recently found out, change is not always a good thing, right? And and we talked about that yesterday, Randy. People aren't struggling enough, or else they would have jumped on that, right? But they didn't. So, what are you going to do? Tank anchor for life. That's probably good, man. That's one aspect of trucking I wish I could have tried. And my life's not over. I mean, I might jump in a tank truck yet. You never know, right? I rented a flatbed this summer. I thought I was ready and wanted to get back in it. Too many bad memories, so I'll stick to my enclosed trailer for now. Yep. It's good to be a door swinger, right? Rock and Ramen, good morning from Beaumont, Texas. I hope you're doing okay. You wish you were on the tour. So do I. I guess Metallica played St. Louis 2 days, and it had the number one highest record attendance of a concert in the history of the world. Over 100,000 people. That's incredible. All these Metallica haters, like, no, you have no idea the power that's this man has. Aspects of Metalocalypse, that TV show on Adult Swim, is based somewhat on a little bit of Metallica's powerhouse, of the industry. And it's like, you know what? Making records is expensive, so we're gonna buy a vinyl record factory. so now they have records that they release for each concert that you go to. I mean, it's a whole deal. I wish I could afford the tickets for their tour. But I'm broke. So Metalheads Unite, form of truckers. There you go. Sterling Wheel, good to see you. Good morning. Trying Illy coffee, watching the rain in South Georgia today. I have not. I've been a bad dispatcher in more ways than one, and I have not been watching the weather. I used to watch Weather Nation religiously, and I have not even turned it on. Well, no, I take it back. I will turn it on when it gets to the half-hour mark, because that's when they're talking about the Midwest, for the most part. But like, I don't know what's going on in the West. I got no trucks out there, no plans to send any trucks out there. And then, everybody gripes about going Northeast, so I don't dispatch anybody there either. So I pretty much watch the Midwest part, and and Southeast is always, it's not rain or hurricane, but that's about it. Every now and then you'll get a snowfall, and they'll make a big deal in the news. So so I've been enjoying my quiet mornings. So leaving in a few hours, loaded, 12 stops, Florida, East Coast bound. Yes, you are on your way home. On your way home. So good deal. What was the other thing I was going to talk to everybody about? I don't remember. I don't remember. So let's take a look at load availability. Actually, we're going to do something different today. Let's do this. A lot of people, ask me about load boards, and and of course I steer them towards 1, 2, 3. But obviously, everybody uses DAT for the most part because it's the industry standard. They've been around the longest. They've got the most volume. But what good's that volume if you can't use like 20, 30, 40% of the brokers? Out of 100 loads, there might be 30 that are good. And out of that 30, there's probably like 10 double postings. But what I do like about DAT is their load ratio, because it kind of tells the story of what's coming and what's happening now. And something to pay attention to if you're looking to go somewhere. It's a quick reference to know where volumes are at. So this is van volumes. Let's zoom this in here. All right. Alaska's got 3 loads going in. Arkansas is pretty even, which is neat. Colorado is half going in, or half coming out then in. Of course, that's why you never get a good rate out of Denver. And even then, the lane value. But look at Florida, 1889 to 579 coming out. This is why they can ask for $1 a mile, and you'll either do it for $1 a mile, or you're going to leave. See, this is a good way. Indiana, 604 in, 1224 out. So almost double coming out of Indiana. Same thing with Illinois, 763 in, 1743 out. Now, this is just on the DAT board, okay? Louisiana is more in. Massachusetts is more in. Some of these are obvious. They're always the same. Look at Maine, though, 75 in and 96 out. So, which it does that every now and then, certain parts of the year. Michigan is more out. Minnesota's more out. Missouri's doing better. There was a time last week where it was more going into Missouri than coming out. Montana is more coming out, but it's only 70 loads out of, look how big Montana is, Nebraska's doing okay, about even. Look at New York, 664 to 570. Ohio, 899 in, 1458 out, which usually that's a little bit higher. PA is more in than out. South Dakota is more out than in, so that's good. Texas, look at Texas, 3144 coming in, 1950 out. So good luck getting anything good out of Texas. Wisconsin, this is all for van, by the way, is more than double coming out. And then West Virginia doing its thing, and Wyoming. Even Wyoming's got better load ratios and better volumes than West Virginia. 106 loads coming out of Wyoming and only 85 loads coming out of West Virginia, which is why when you go to the 123 low board, West Virginia is always red. See? Even on the all trailer types, it's red. So, all right. Where was I? Acceleration rules. Had a driver park directly in front of me 4 hours into my break and proceeded to take a 12-hour break. Almost broke out the Smith & Wesson. Well, you don't want to do that. You don't want to give the trucking gun owners, a reputation. But I definitely feel your frustration. For sure. Morning listening from the beginning at 2 times the speed. LOL. Another 3-day week for me. 2,000 miles. Monday through Wednesday. Dedicated though, not spot. There you go, Gen Z. Here, I'll do this. There you go, Gen Z. There. Michigan to South Dakota. Nice. Tired of 65, 69, 70, 71, 75. Bad roads. It's not even winter yet. Lost a few teeth. Yeah. There was a bump. They're off of, what's that highway in Shreveport? It's like 34, something like that. I can't remember now. But man, that thing, I would hit a certain bump that you couldn't avoid. It like went across the entire interstate. And my GPS would fall. My hat would fall. I think one time my CB radio even fell. It was it was crazy. It's amazing how they made trucking so easy, yet everyone still complains. Dial a truck seems a million years prior to AI stuff we have now. It is very archaic. Steve, load update. Driver with step deck is backed up to the dock. Sure, nice when a driver shows up on time. It is. It sure is. Cool trucking. Good morning. CDN proves that CDN is a guy that proves that leave the freight brokering to the pros, right? So, cool trucking. What's up, man? How's happy retirement going, right? So let's take a look at Van here. Now, the other thing here, let's do this. Let's unshare the screen for a second. I don't want you knowing all my business. Let's see. The trend lines. Whoa. Okay, let's get this back on the screen. Now, I put the link to this website up. You don't need the DAT board to see this link. All right. As you can see, flatbeds steadily going down, but reefer got a bump up this month so far, and we all know why. If you do any kind of observation, you'll know that this is the peak. This is the last hurrah for reefer. Now, back in the day, you could do the holiday version of the Friday 3 o'clock shuffle. And basically, I have a few friends that ran reefers that they would run during the week before and the week after and during Christmas. And they would make buku bucks getting that last minute, oh crap, we need it now freight. And that was the thing up until about, I don't know, 3 years ago. And I don't see that bump. So most of the time after December 15th, I'm staying home. Now that's, I drive van and I have family and I'd rather be home with them. And even over the many years that my dad drove, he was never gone for Christmas. He always made it a point to be home for Christmas. I don't even think he missed a Thanksgiving either. But I've only missed a couple of Thanksgiving. I missed a couple of Easters, but for the most part, I've never. Well, I can 100% say with certainty that I never was out on the road for Christmas. And now there's nothing wrong with running. In fact, running the roads between Christmas and New Year's was my favorite time to run because there's nobody out there. So truck stops were easier, fueling was easier. The interstates were more empty. It's a nice time. I enjoy that. And so this is why you can't have a 30-day cost per day analysis, because you're not going to get a full 30 days throughout the year on every month. You just not, because of holidays. Even if you're working over the holidays, you're still going to sit somewhere. And that's what I discovered. Is like, unless I'm running a big, long, high-paying load over the Christmas holiday, for the most part, they were just adding an extra day to your transit time. Now, if Christmas falls on a Thursday, then you're pretty much losing some of Wednesday, and then you're probably going to lose Friday as well. Unless you're doing a big shipper like P&G or somebody like that. So you have to strategize for your holidays now. But you still, I mean, yeah, you might, let's say for August, September, October, you ran full 30 days for each of those months. You found a good dedicated gig, and you didn't need a restart, and you just worked every single day. But then November comes along, you're not going to have 30 days. Well, guess what? So now your average for the 4 months is below 30 days. So you should always do your cost analysis. Do it for 20, do it for 25, and then still do it for 30, but don't count on that 30. So that's just my tip on the whole cost per day thing. I look at both. I look at cost per mile, cost per day. It's a bigger picture than that. And it's a lot of work. Not really. It's not really a whole lot of work to calculate all that. Especially if you're using a program. So just kind of keep that in mind, because November and December you don't get a full 30 days unless you got some special circumstance. But then I don't know, if you work the next 6 months 30 days every single day, I don't know, that seems like a form of slavery to me, especially if you're not making hardly anything. But your truck eventually is going to need a day off. Your body's going to eventually need a day off. That one broker that didn't tell you the right pickup number, that's going to give you a day off. Or that one shipper that says, oh, we ran out of product, that's going to give you a day off. So you should always prepare for the worst, which is, 20 days. And if your cost per day at 20 days is manageable, then anything after 20 days that you can work, man, that's gravy. That is bonus. There you go. Easy breezy. It's just math. Don't be scared of math. Gen Z, I laughed very hard when he talked to Asmin. I am glad that made you laugh. Exactly, Steve. Cecilia, when you own one truck, you can only earn revenue 40 to 42 weeks a year. Yet expectation is the market will pay you enough as if you worked 52 weeks. That math does not add up. Do you know why people are ingrained on 52 weeks? Because these leasing companies want you to think that these truck payments are manageable. That's why they're weekly. They don't want you to run for 2 weeks and then take the next 2 weeks off. That doesn't help their capacity, right? What good is supplying somebody with the truck if they're only going to use it 2 weeks out of the month, right? So that's why you have weekly payments. But in order to make that look manageable, they give you a 52-week average. Well, you're not going to work all 52 weeks. You could blow a turbo, and guess what? It's under warranty. You don't have to worry about that. And they might even extend the payments to the end of the contract. But you're still down 2-3 weeks, maybe if the part's not in. So that's, to me, it just makes sense. If you want every other weekend off, 25 days is your number. If you want every weekend off, 20 days is your number. If you're going to work through the weekend, well, if you're running long, that's going to happen. But most of the time, if you're running the short game, they're not paying you for that extra 2 days. Friday is always a challenge for me as a dispatcher for my own truck and for anybody else's truck. Because if the driver doesn't want to go long, then they're sitting on a load, an $800 load for 3 days. And to me, that seems wasteful. If I'm out, I'm going to be out. I think since, in the 6 years I was running my truck in the spot market, I think I only did like 2 or 3 restarts on the road. Now, part of that was because of where I live, so it was easier to be under load at home. But then I wasn't expecting them to pay for all 3 days. I'd pick up something on Friday in Columbus, Ohio, and then get home Sunday morning, deliver it Monday morning, get my 34, and off we go. So that's kind of what we got to do. 53 Reefer, Seattle. Thanks for the super chat. 200 miles anywhere. So let's do that. Find loads. I think Sterling's getting ready to buy a new truck. Psych. Let's see. Seattle. You don't have to put 53 in there. All right. Anywhere for. We'll do it for the rest of the week. Today, tomorrow, Friday. Apply. Refer. Apply. Search. Highest posted rate is dun 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 254 miles, 7250 to go to Virginia from Eagle Creek, Oregon. Which, 6 months ago that was at like it barely hitting $2 a mile. So my guess, a lot. Yep, nursery stock. This is the low locks or straps, pretty cool. Floor loaded, washout included in rate. Set temp to BOL. So I bet you, this is Christmas trees. Run a couple of these, go home for the rest of the year, you're good to go, right? If your costs are low enough to do that. Tacoma to Jackson, they're at 243, 6,100. So your highest rate per mile, let's do that. 638 a mile for $600. A lot of local stuff. 328 to go to California, 2,400 for 731 miles. So that's over 1,000 a day. So not bad rates coming out of Washington. So there you go. Sterling. Pigtail, what's up? Toga, oi oi. 53 Reefer anywhere to Seattle. All right, well, let's do this here. Sterling's trying to get out, and CB wants to go in. So we'll do this. Copy. Can't do anywhere from yet. I've approached 123 about. They said they used to have it, so here's what we can do. We can do like half the country here. No, select 34 of maximum 25. So we'll leave that out. So which one of these do we want to leave out? That's tough. Let's leave out this one. Let's leave out New England. Apply. Still won't let me do it. Okay. Well, there you go, CB. It won't let you do anywhere, and I wish it would. I've been talking to Lauren about this, and he's supposed to see why it hasn't been done yet. So another reason we have 52 weeks in our mind is he used to get paid 26 paychecks a year working as a W-2 employee. That's true. I guess the retired info isn't interesting later. Oh, I missed your comment there, Cool Trucking. Getting ready for a road trip, Arizona bound for a couple of months, the first winter snowflake trip. Good deal. Man, get over yourself, Cool Trucking. I missed your comment. It was an accident. Yeah, I got the red light. Yay, good deal. Charlotte, North Carolina reefer with hazmat going to Colorado. But that's paying decent. Let the loading begin. 48 reefer, Boise, Idaho, 200 miles. Oh, you know what? I didn't do 200 miles. I apologize. Let's see. Boise. Oh, you're putting 48 in there now. Like, who runs with the 48 foot anymore? I mean, am I missing something here? Let's do 200 miles and let's put 48. All right. Still quite a bit. All right, your highest overall rate. $312, $7,500 to go to Bethlehem, Pennsylvania. $312 a mile. $6,500 to go to Sacramento, Pennsylvania. Now let's take a look at this Bethlehem real quick. Way above what Cargo Chief is saying, even above all the even over all the other. Let's see, 43, 448 on the weight. Frozen food. Let's take a look at tolls. Only $171 in tolls. That's not too bad. I've seen that as high as $300 and $400. So now you're not going to get great fuel mileage. So you're looking to profit $1.66 a mile, 4,000 if you're at a 80/20 company after tolls and fuel. So that's not bad. Yeah, Idaho to Las Vegas, 1-day trip, $2,400. A lot of stuff going to California. That's interesting to see a decent number going into California. Usually that's a backhaul lane. So, Sterling Will, what APU repair company did you mention in Arizona that you liked? Let's see. Oh yeah, I was supposed to give you guys numbers and stuff. I apologize. I'm kind of absent-minded here. Oh, speaking of reefer, let's take a look at reefer. Well, did we ever look at the van market? Let's look at van here. CDN says, cool trucking, have fun in Arizona. You're only 6 hours from Disneyland. Go to the garden markets outside of Gold Canyon, Arizona. Go to Tortilla Flats for lunch if you have never been. I would love to take the wife to Grand Canyon. I have not done that. I need to do that. Go to the Grand Canyon, then go visit Sterling. Go help them remove spiders with rifles. It'll be awesome. Sterling says 48-foot reefer spread axles, potato and onion hauler stream can usually scale up to 47. Nice. Okay. 47. All right. So this is your van markets. Let's take a look at Missouri. Let's see. Your highest paying thing out of Missouri right now on the overall rate, the long haul is 3,600 to go to Florida. $1.74 to go to California, 35.72, and almost $1 more to get to Florida, California. You got South Richmond Heights, New York, for 234 a mile, 2,900. Axel's got that. Kansas City, Idaho, for 253 a mile, 2,900. California, Florida, Canada. St. Charles, Missouri to Pitt Meadows, BC. Brooklyn, Missouri to Dayville, Connecticut. They're at $2.40 a mile. Let's take a look at that one. Let's see what the tolls look like on that. Picks up. Oh, this is all the way to November 20th. I mean, they're booking this way far ahead. $333 in tolls. So your overall profit after fuel and tolls is 93 cents a mile, or $1 or 1,016.18. So divide that by how many days it takes you to get out there, and that's what you got to pay your truck payment, to pay your trailer payment, to pay your insurance, to pay yourself. You get my drift here. Sykeston, Aurora, Colorado. Mrs. A says, and his wife would love to be taken to the Grand Canyon. Jackknife TV, good morning. Bunch of Springfield to Middleport, New York. Let's take a look at that. Seems like they got 2 a day. So picks up Friday, right? Yeah, picks up Friday, delivers Monday. Yeah, picks up Monday. They're at 21. And it's upstate. So you want to keep an eye on the weather for that lake effect. Auto parts. Pickup instructions. ARL reserves the right to hold pickup address, pickup number, or cancel a shipment without TONU. Pay if the driver does not accept cell tracking. If not, cell phone track through shipment duration. ARL has the right to deduct $250 plus additional fees. Them putting that on that comment section means that they've had issues with this, right? Because the way these load boards work is you post from your TMS system, and it's pretty much automated. You have to manually go in there and change put in the comments. Some TMSs will, maybe that might be a default setting that they've put in their TMS, but for the most part, I still see on Facebook drivers refusing to do the tracking in this day and age. It's like, what are you trying to avoid? And that's that adapt or die thing that you have to. That's just a reality. If you want old school trucking that doesn't require tracking, then get rid of your cell phone and go haul grain out of the fields or haul cattle. But you got to get rid of your cell phone. So now, if you're like, well, I don't want them to use the data against me to price my loads, well, okay, I get that. But that's the world you live in. That's what you signed up for. That's what you got, right? Desert Okie Pam, good morning. I'm still observing onions on flatbeds coming out of Oregon. How long do those continue to ship? I have no idea. That's flatbed and or onions have never been my MO. Did you haul any F1 load for the Las Vegas race, or know anyone who hauled them? Did they pay well? I have no idea. I mean, most of those teams have their own trucks. So the only thing you got really is the media trucks. So like Landstar, that was a big thing at Landstar. If you got on with the crew that did Monday Night Football, you're basically the excess that the media company's trailers wasn't hauling. So like if you watch Monday Night Football and you see the overhead camera on the wires, that's hauled by usually a Landstar truck. But all race teams usually have their own. They have their own trucks and all that. And I know somebody that does haul race teams. So, Pale Rider, I'm having coffee with my coffee this morning. Good deal. It's better than having nothing with your coffee. That means you don't have any coffee. What is the scoop with Las Vegas? Everyone says a dead market, but who's hauling everything for all the hotels and restaurants? Some carriers are making money. Yes. It's like Denver. You go into Denver, there's warehouses galore. But yet, where are you picking up? Beer, Pepsi. Mattresses are made in Denver, right? Las Vegas is the same way. Now, Las Vegas is a great place for trade show freight because a lot of people have their trade shows, regardless of their industry, in Las Vegas. So if you can get lucky and get one of those loads out, or find the broker that handles that stuff, that is what I would be doing. But to blindly go into Las Vegas in the spot market without a plan out, you're going to struggle a little bit. TK, I just called on a load. We were $1,300 apart on the rate. LOL. I was just over the average. Well, we had this discussion last week, TK. Did you find out why they were $1,300 apart? And so, TK, do me a favor, dude. Where are you trying to get out of? Let's look at some loads. Let's see if we can book you a good load out. Put it up on the screen where you're at, where you want to go, and I'll throw this up on the 1, 2, 3. Here's what I have a problem with when they require tracking. They usually choose crappy tracking apps. Then when they lose tracking of you out in the desert or halfway across the country, they start deducting from your rate. So here's how you can not prevent it, but this is how you counteract that. You always need to find a solution, Jackknife. And so my solution is, what I'll do is I'll send them the link to the ELD. Samsara has a link. It's live share. Boom. So that's number one. That shows that you're saying, hey, your app sucks. You got to say it in a nicer way and go, here's, just in case the app fails, here's the link to my ELD. Right? And then if the tracking app fails and it shows it on your screen, screenshot that and send it, email it to the broker. Say, hey, look, we're having some issues. Do not deduct this money. So if you're making an, and what I found is I've never had a deduction in the trucks that I dispatch or my own truck. I've never had a deduction because of lack of tracking. Why? Because I communicated with the broker. Now, infamously, TQL has trouble with their tracking app. So what I do is like, hey, is there an option for MacroPoint? Because MacroPoint seems pretty solid. Trucker Tools gets glitchy. TQL's app gets glitchy. CH Robinson's app gets kind of glitchy, depending on the driver's phone. But MacroPoint seems pretty solid. And Four Kites and what's the other one? Carrier Link. They're not too bad. And so you just communicate with the broker. And if you don't communicate with them, here's the deal, man. This is an easy solution. If you 100% communicate with them, especially when the app is failing and they still deduct your pay, then you don't work with that broker again. It's that simple. Or you try to contact the higher up, say, hey, look, I have proof that this app failed in these areas, and I gave your agent an ELD link, and I called them every 2 hours or every 4 hours to make sure he knew where I was at, and you still deducted $250. That's how you handle that. That's a lot of work, but this is what you signed up for. This is what a driver in the spot market, this is what you signed up for. It's communication. Why do they want these tracking apps? Because no one communicates. If drivers would actually communicate, they wouldn't care about tracking apps for the most part. But here's the thing: when I was at Schneider as an owner operator, they told us that one of the things that they were able to leverage. Now, mind you, this is years ago, before all this tracking apps were really created. They said that we have live, real time tracking on all of our trailers and all the shipments. And so it's very important you do the check calls under Qualcomm, because that tells the customer where the load is at in the system. They use Amazon as kind of an example. I said that's given us leverage to go in and get a lot of these customers. It's because we can provide tracking where most mega carriers at that time couldn't. Now they have these things that like the temperature trackers that they throw in reefer trailers. Now they got that. You can literally get air tabs and do the same thing. But these things aren't 100% foolproof. And yeah, when you're going in the middle of nowhere, Arizona, or you're in the middle of nowhere, Georgia or North Carolina, yeah, these apps, fail because of signal issues. But you have to communicate with them. Hey, look, this load's going to BFE North Dakota. So if this app fails, I'm not comfortable with that. And then you wheel and deal from there. It's all about communication. It's about how you talk to the broker, dude. So now, do some brokers use that as leverage to deduct the rate after the fact? Yes. That is shady. But again, it goes back, don't use that broker again, or go above their head and say, hey, look, your guy assured me this, this, and this. Here's the email proof. And here's the email proof that I did this, this, and this. I made the proper steps. Give me my $250, please. And sometimes you got to beat them over the head, like that guy that brought his trailer on the TQL's property to get his money. Sterling says, if the Griswold family can make it to the Grand Canyon, so can Wife Lord. Jerome Jones, good morning. I often wonder if those that refuse tracking are hoping to add a partial to a full load. Well, that's where the seal comes in, right? That's where the seal, you can't break the seal kind of thing goes on. Rafael Gonzalez Jr., Mr. Lord, when do you think the market will flip, or is this the new with peaks in here and there? This is the new. The new. Market is not going to flip. You might have some bump ups here and there. I mean, the DAT board is we can go to, see if I can find trend lines here. You can find, let me do this here. See, there's your bump up, but it's not enough to rescue anybody. It's enough to make it a little bit easier to go home, maybe, when you want to be home for the holidays. Van load the truck is 8.9% went up. Flatbed went up 3.5%, and reefer went up 26%. Hey, that goes back to what I was saying earlier. So, but at the end of the year, we're going to look at these numbers and we're going to see, but things are still like van load the truck is still down 27%. Flatbed load the truck is down 48% for the year. This is all for the year now. And reefer load the truck is down 42%. So these bump ups are not erasing these bump downs right here. So just kind of keep that in mind. I'm talking about the fencing for the racetrack and stands. Yeah, that kind of thing. There's logistic companies that handle that. They're not putting that on the spot for the most part. I mean, they want to rely on it. Now they might now because rates are cheap, but I imagine they're the I would find the brokers that have that if there is such a thing, and then but I imagine the people that own the fencing and all that stuff for like like for road races inside a city, one of those things. They're they're already spoken for, but that's a good thing to look at though. But it might be good money for that one race, but then that's it. But if you can get it, most of the time they're going to contract that out, and that's what these Landstar trucks that I would run into at the Indy Yard would do. And they paid very well, and they were happy doing it. But they had to be out 9-10 months out of the year for the racing season, or if they were doing football. Monday Night Football and NASCAR were the two things that these guys were doing, and it was like usually team couples that lived on the road, with really nice, ARI sleeper type equipment. Onions on flatbed stop when freezing weather gets going. So that's a good. There you go. So there are speakeasy markets that you need the special password to get inside that market. Yeah, in a way. I mean, at the end of the day, it's about money, right? We had a special thing going on in Denver, and then poof, it's gone. Somebody else came in and underbid everybody. So send them a tracking link from your ELD. I do that with less trustworthy brokers. And that's what, and Don brings up a good point. If you have a relationship with a broker, they're less likely to ding you when they know their app sucks. But like a mom and pop broker that's a one off that you've never used before, yeah, you want to take all these precautions. But if it's somebody that you work with on a consistent basis, man, they're not going to be, anal about it. A lot of trade show stuff and tour stuff out of Vegas this time of year. There is a lot of one-off shows if you know how to find them. And I think what CDN is asking is, how do you find them? Hood's Truck Stop is the sweet spot on I-44 for parking overnight. They still had parking at 1 a.m. last night. Love this place. Full service fueling. Yes. The only problem with them is they have the worst bathrooms in the state. That's my only problem with Hood's Truck Stop. Furthermore, when a broker sends you a load confirmation, they're required to use the broker's tracking link, but you will drive through bad sell areas. Tell broker up front that tracking link will fail. There you go. Communication. We don't give access to the ELD because they share the information. We get slammed with unwanted emails. What kind of unwanted emails? Brokers looking for trucks? That so do a little bit more in depth on that. Why is it that what kind of emails are you getting that are unwanted? Because I put ELD links all the time and I don't get that. Moet, how's it going? What's a good tanker company to sign on with hauling food grade? Opie's Transport in Eldon, Missouri. And that's it. Go there. Tell Todd I sent you. If I wanted to do food grade tank, I'd be calling my friend Todd. Say, hey man, get me on. He'd be like, okay, because I trained the dude, right? So he knows I know how to drive. But they are by far one of the top companies. So that's one reason why I used to like flatbed. Always could load a partial once in a while. Not to mention the shippers that gave you the seal to put on. Cough, cough. The fencing and stuff for the racetrack and stands and stuff is probably a local company. They have already have it stored and they use it for other events. Chief Freight Hauler, if you have your own authority, you will get unwanted emails and calls daily, not just because you shared ELD tracking. That's kind of what I was thinking. Do they sell? Yes, I believe they do have a lease purchase program now. So give Opies a call. OPIES. See if I can find them real quick. Let's advertise my friend Buddy Todd here. I'm sure they got a website. All right, let's present this screen. Just remote it. Like, there you go. So, food grade tank. You stay out 10 to 12 days at a time. Have home time is 2 to 3 days. You have to live in these areas, though: Keokuk, Iowa; Eldon, Missouri; Chicago, Illinois; Kansas City; Memphis; Dallas; North Houston. And here's the website. Again, this is only if you want to do food grade tank. I believe they have a oh, it's going to let me link. I believe they have a lease purchase now. But dude, they pay so well. I don't know why you would want to lease purchase one of their trucks. Well, the trucks are smaller because they got to haul more. I mean, they're running Freightliners right now. They had a bad experience with PACCAR, but I mean, you get benefits and retirement plan. Why would you want to make a truck payment over here? So that's what I would do. Jeffrey Like is in the house. Truckers Education Network. Here now, start over. No, you have to go back and listen to it in double speed, like somebody else has done. WCF, dang, maybe I need to go to Opie's. Well, if you do, let me know and I'll hook you up. I've gotten a couple of people hired over there. I get probably 10 to 15 calls daily from dispatchers with their access to premium load boards. I do not spam call whatsoever. Let's see. Go to hiring center and then scroll to the bottom. All right, so we'll do that. Oh, there you go. Owner operator. An owner operator friendly dispatch management team, dedicated personnel to answer contract and bi-monthly settlement inquiries. Fleet of late model tractors. This guy is sitting there with his pretty Peterbilt. Lease to own program, in-house financing, fuel tax, filing service, onboard computer system provided at no charge. Company supplied fuel card, fuel surcharge program. That's where the money will be in tank freight. Pre-pass transponders are provided. OPS pays toll charges, so owner operators. Wow, they pay tolls. And the PTO and HydroPack are provided for and maintained by OPs. Discounts on fuel, repairs, maintenance, insurance, parts, tires. So there you go. So that's if you want to make a truck payment. James G, hello. You still looking for a truck? Thanks, buddy. You're welcome, man. Anything I can help. Anything I can do to help. I know Cool Trucking's mad at me now because I accidentally skipped this comment, but I have no personal issues with anybody in this chat. I try to help everybody that I can. I always ask them if they go by Snorelord on YouTube. Maybe Opie's needs to be my backup plan. Sorry, DIY. James is still looking, so James, put your email out there, and you've got a wrench, so you should be able to do that. So, all right, back to the low board stuff. By the way, tip your host. I appreciate the members, and then 48065 is my code for 123 low board. You don't have to take my word for it, man. You can look at all these tools yourself. Like one of my favorite tools is you got the profit calculator, you've got the mileage calculator, Remember the old days in your atlas? You had to crisscross the state, the city, and city. Remember that? Remember those days? Man, I don't miss those days. This will hold all your documents if you want it. Rate check. This is my favorite because this will tell you tolls as well. But the let's see, where is it at? On this mileage calculator, it will calculate tolls. So let's do New Stanton. Yeah, we'll allow. Jeez. New Stanton. Pa. Oh wait, no, I gotta actually type New Stanton. Remember Monday when I said I can't type very fast? All right, or very well. To let's do Mechanicsburg, a run that I've done many times. PA. Calculate. Wow, come on, get out of here. All right, so tells you the toll cost, and then you can choose either PC Mile or Google Maps. And there's your directions right there. Keep right on ramp, East I-70. Keep right on exit 58, which that ramp is very fun. Your toll is going to be $215. There you go. It'll do your IFTA calculation. It'll put your profit calculator in here. So, and it's fairly accurate. Now, with Pennsylvania, they go by weight, so obviously it's going to be overestimate. But this is like it's going to be at least no more than $215.50. And I've tried it with other drivers; like they've told me that it's fairly accurate. So that's a great tool. Let's go back to the hot market map. Now we were looking at van. Let's look at reefer here. Okay, any suggestions, WC? All right, see what. Find a good small, medium-sized carrier with resources, preferably direct freight. You do not want to be new or solo authority in this economy right now. And how? Let me go back. I must have missed a couple of comments. James She's putting his email out there. I literally tell the mass calling dispatch services that I'm under contract with the Snorelord, and they're like, "Who the hell's that?" For 3 years, I certainly hope to see them in the chat one morning. I'm new to the industry. I have 2 years experience, but I do have enough money and credit to do a lease purchase. Well, okay, so Moet, you have to ask yourself several questions before you become an owner operator. And I should be doing a whole video on this. But you got to ask yourself, what are your goals? What do you intend to build? What's your end game? What's your expectations? What are your needs? What's your bills like? What's your finances like? What's your credit like? That all that stuff comes into play. The root cause of our current market are shippers taking on these new brokers offering cheap or freight or plan to double broker their freight. Get shippers to screen brokers. 50% of issues go away. This is true. I believe that. Back to low board, says Moet. That makes a lot of sense. In the end, should we start with Landstar? Find one close to where you live. Honestly, in this climate, company drivers are making more than owner operators do after expenses. That is true. Now, with that being said, check this out. Look how much green is on this map for reefer. Look at that. It looks like Christmas. Green and red and some yellow. Look at that. That means there's some good volumes in these areas. James G's like, where do you live? I have a truck for lease. Yes, please do a video. I need to do a video. You're right. I've got this all written out. I intended to do it from my truck when I still had it, but well, life got in the way. Randy says no lease loan payments in this market. But see, James Shee is not running spot market, so he'll be fine. Neither is Opie's. So, but there's your reefer map. That is looking pretty good. That is looking pretty good. So that's but January. So let's do this. I'm going to do this here real quick. We're going to take a picture of that. I took a picture of that with my phone. And then middle of January, we're going to take the same picture and look at the difference. So, thanks, guys. I really need a good mentor. I'm from Chicago. Well, I believe that was one of the places. Yep, Chicago is one of the states that you can live in for the Opies deal. So that's cool. So, or James Shee, he's not on, but yeah, you don't want to join the spot market with the truck payment right now. Time to tighten up your monies. Money. All right, so let's look at flatbed here. Flatbed, step deck, flatbed, apply. All right, look at all that red. Remember that part of this where I talked about flatbed going down? 48%. That was higher. Remember that part? Look at West Virginia not be red. That's interesting. You're in the right place, says my name is nobody. CDN says I was a guest on podcasts. I talk customer development and cross-border freight. There you go. Yeah, so make sure you check that out. CDN's got a link. A truck payment and the spot market are not for everyone. Yes, it's in the description of the video. So if you click on the more, you'll see a bunch of links and ats and all that. My email's somewhere in there. So, Mr. Charles, good morning. So, if I don't answer it right away, don't get discouraged. Comment on one of my videos that you emailed me if I don't respond, and then that way I'll see that because the email I use for the YouTube page is like littered with a bunch of spam because of something I signed up for. Oh, that was a weird noise. Advice for Moet: read Bachelor Pad Economics. Don't buy truck. Thanks for the super chat there, Sterling, and the message. So, look, I'm not going to be the guy that tells you not to buy a truck, but you definitely have a lot of challenges when you do that. So there's all these questions, and so maybe I'll do a recorded video soon about that. And what I'll do is I'll record it, and then I'll go live and play it, and then we can have live question and answer session. Wouldn't that be cool? Maybe do that on a Saturday night or something when I know my phone won't get called. So that might be thing. That might be a thing. So, but anywho, this is your flatbed market. So obviously, Northwest is always doing better than this area. And then if you're going north to South Dakota, you're going to flirt with Minnesota and just go there. And then, of course, your Southeast is always good. The ports are doing okay. But just know that in the flatbed world, materials are going down. Commercial construction will slow down, except for the warmer climates. And so you'll be fighting more people for less loads. So just know that. And the DOT is really cracking down on load securement right now because why? Because a bunch of flatbedders enter the market that don't know what they're doing. So just be careful with that. Um, so that would be very helpful. I look, dude. I want to help people because I see a lot of people causing a lot of damage to their lives because they have no guidance. And I want to help people be able to help themselves. And what I've realized is there's a lot of people that don't want to help themselves. They haven't hit rock bottom yet. And any day that you're above ground, there should be gratitude. That's the first step in fighting anything that you're battling. And I want to help people as much as I possibly can. I don't know. I don't have all the answers. I don't know everything. All I know is what's not working for a lot of people. And all I know is that there's a lot of things going on in the logistics industry that people should be aware of. And you have to get the whole big picture before you decide to make any kind of major moves that could affect the rest of your life. There are some platforms that trucking is a profitable business, and there are other platforms that aren't. And that's what you have to figure out. Now, you only having 2 years of experience, I always suggest people to have 5 before they decide to buy a truck. And a place like Opie's, like I demonstrated, that would be a good place to just do the job in the beginning. And then if you decide you want to be a lease operator, then go from there. But at least know the industry that you're going into. And if you like it, if you love it, and you do the math and the math works better for you, then boom, make that decision. But also be aware of the other things that are going on. So just kind of realize that. I'll say this, don't buy a truck if you're heavily in household debt. Correct. Clyde, what's up? Things are well. I have no kids, and my only home expense are my cell phone and insurance bill. There you go. So I will help you mow it. He cares. I do care. I do care. Because the better we can make this industry, the better it gets for everybody. Educate. And you'll have to filter out the people that just won't care, even if you educate them. The kind of people that you put your camera up in their face when they're sitting in the fuel island too long. Those people don't care. You're never going to change that. But if you can educate new drivers of why you don't want to sit in the fuel island like that, maybe you'll have a chance. But shoving a camera in their face, that doesn't do anything. All that does is cause confrontation. All that does is make them want to do it more because they hate you. Cheap Freight says, Mo at Snorelord, Truckers Education Network, CDN, DIY Semi are some great channels to watch. Soak it in and make some informed decisions. I'm doing food grade tankers now. I have 1 year experience with my company, but I know I'm leaving money on the table. Well, contact Opie's there. They'll help you out. And again, tell Todd that I sent you. Not that I get anything from him. He'll give me an attaboy, but it's not like I get paid to endorse him or nothing. I do get paid to endorse 123 Lowboard 48065. All the info down here. We're always bringing on contractors here at Like Trucking in the van and reefer world, and so if you're interested in that, go to our website. at www.liketrucking.com. 48065 gets my code for this 123 low board that you can try out for yourself without an MC number. So if you're a company driver looking to make a move, you can check out the rates, you can check out the low board, and figure out a business plan from there if it's profitable or not. There you go. So, and you get $35 a month for all the things that you see that I've shown you and more. So it's a savings of like $10. And $10 a month, man, that's $520 a year. That's enough to buy a new firearm. So, with that being said, thank you. Sure will, Snorelord, and thanks again. I'll email you soon. There you go. So, with that being said, strength for today, hope for tomorrow, aggression turns the screws, and don't be a butthead. So, later. See you Friday. I did that wrong. Math is hard. So is StreamYard. $120 a year. Mrs. A is correcting me. So there you go. Continue on.